Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Treasure Island International CBSE School online class. So today we are going to learn about why do we fall ill. So yesterday we have to learn about what are the types of disease, and then what is the difference between acute disease and then chronic disease, and then what causes of disease. This also we have to learn. Today we have to learn briefly. We have to learn about infectious disease. So now we have to learn about infectious agents and then means of spread, organ specific and tissue specific manifestation. Let us see one by one. So what is, once again we have to recall what is infectious disease. The disease caused due to the infectious spread by microbes such as bacteria, virus, fungus are called infectious disease. For example, chickenpox, AIDS, dengue fever, and then cold and caused by the virus. These are known as infectious disease. So these diseases spread through the microbes such as bacteria, virus and fungus. So typhoid, another some example, typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis are caused by bacteria. Malaria and Kala Azar are caused by protozoa. These diseases are spread by the microbes. So they can be transferred from a infected person to a healthy by several means. Therefore, the infectious disease also called communicable diseases. And then non-infectious diseases. So that is caused by the means other than microbes are called non-infectious disease. What are known as non-infectious disease? Yes, the disease that caused by the means of other than microbes are called non-infectious disease. For example, AIDS and then diabetes, high pressure, low pressure, these are not spread through the microbes. How can we avoid this infectious disease? So we have to personal hygiene and environmental factors, that is genetic disorder. So we have to avoid this non-infectious disease. So this is a heart attack, that is a non-infectious disease. So as they are not caused by microbes, thereby they do not spread from an infected person to a healthy person. Okay, it's not transmitted, it cannot spread one person to another person. Okay, so they are called non-communicable diseases. Let us talk about infectious agents. So we have seen that entire diversity is in the living world can be classified into a few groups. This classification is based on the common characteristics between the different organisms. Organisms that can cause disease are found in a wide range such as categories of classification. So we have to classify these infectious agents are virus and some of the bacteria, some of the fungus and some of the single celled organisms like protozoans, and some diseases are also caused by multicellular organisms. That is, example for multicellular organisms are worms. So let us these agents, infectious agents, virus that cause the disease like cold, influenza, dengue fever, and AIDS. And then bacteria is a infectious agents. It can spread the disease like typhoid fever, cholera, tuberculosis, and anthrax. And then many common skin infections are caused by different kinds of fungus. So, and then protozoans are the microscope. It can cause many familiar diseases such as malaria and Kala Azar. So sometimes we got affected by the intestine, our small intestine. So that means they have to form in your intestines. So as well as disease like elephantiasis caused by different species of worm. So elephantiasis in Tamil means that is Yanekkal disease. So it is important to study that. So we have to study why it is important. We have to study the infectious agents and the categories of infectious agents. So the categories are important factors in deciding what kind of treatment to use. Members of each one of these groups, that means virus, bacteria and so on, have many biological characters in common. So we have to important to learn about the infectious agents. So already we know that virus, bacteria and then protozoa, these are the infectious agents. For example, all virus, they have to live inside the host cell, whereas bacteria very rarely do. Okay. For example, virus, they have to live inside of the living organisms, and bacteria, they have to rarely live in the living organism. Viruses, bacteria and fungus multiple very quickly, while worms multiple very slowly in comparison. So these virus and bacteria and then protozoa, it can spread very speed rather than worm. The worm also inside our intestine, and then virus also come enter our body, and then it can multiple very large in a within few seconds. But worms that also live in the intestine, so it is not develop very fast because these worms are multicellular organisms. So taxonomically all bacteria are closely related to each other than to virus. Okay, these bacteria very close to the virus. That means many important life processes are similar in the bacteria group, but are not shared with the virus group. Okay, this so all bacteria, it is very close to the virus. But not shared with the virus group. As a result, drugs that block one of these life processes in one member of the group is likely to be effective against many other members of the group. but the same drug will not work against the microbes belonging to the different groups. So virus, we have to give the antibiotics for virus. It's not helpful for bacteria affecting groups. So individually that is affected by the individual antibiotics. For example, let us take antibiotics. They commonly block biochemical pathways important for bacteria. So many bacteria, for example, make a cell wall to protect themselves. So the bacteria, they have entered the host. It have to protect a cell wall and then make them to protect themselves. And then antibiotic penicillin blocks the bacterial process that built the cell wall. So we have to put an injection, we have to take the antibiotics penicillin. It is going to block the building of the cell wall of bacteria. As a result, growing bacteria become unable to make cell walls and then they have to easily die. Human cells don't make a cell wall anyway. Okay, so our cells, do not make a cell wall. So plant cells only they have the cell wall. So penicillin cannot have such an effect on us. So we have to take antibiotics of penicillin. It's not affected our health. And other ways it can kill the bacteria. And such process for making the cell walls. So similar manner, all the antibiotics work against many species of bacteria rather than simply working against one. But virus do not use the pathway at all. So then only we are not kill the COVID-19 still itself. Nearly 8 months are gone. We are not find the antibiotics against the virus because this virus does not make the wall. This does not make a cell wall. So it is very harmful to find out the pathway of virus. For example, we have cold, taking antibiotics does not reduce severity or duration of the disease. However, if you also get bacterial infection along with the viral cold, taking antibiotics will help. But even the antibiotics will work only against the bacterial part of the infection, not the viral infections. So still itself we are not destroy the virus infection. For example, even small common cold also we are not clear using the antibiotics. So this cold also they had some bacteria also. So we have to destroy only the bacterium only. We are not destroy the virus infections. And then how to spread this disease. So this infected disease, how to this infectious disease spread. So many microbial agents can commonly move from an affected person to someone else in a variety of ways. So we have otherwise we have to say the communicated disease and also called communicable disease. How does this disease transported? It is transferred from an infected person to a healthy and disease free persons are called communicable disease. For example, an infected person sneezes or cough, they throw tiny droplets of water into the air and that air contains a number of thousand or million number of microbes spread in the air and then it is infected the healthy person. So these diseases are spread through air, that is known as airborne disease. So some of the example of communicable disease are the disease spread through air, that is known as chickenpox, tuberculosis, pneumonia, etc. And then not only air, the disease can spread through the water also. For example, cholera. So it occurs if the excreta from someone suffering from the infectious gut disease, that is cholera. It is these microbes mix in the water, mix in the drinking water, and that water is used by the people, and that people they have to affected by the cholera. So these cholera causing microorganism will enter the healthy person through the water by their drink and cause disease in them. So such diseases are much more likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking waters. Okay, so we have to always drink the boiled water. Then only this microorganism can kill when we are heating the water. Another one mode of transport means of spread. So one is through the air, next one is through the water, and third one is through the sexual contact. So example for sexual contact, the disease syphilis and AIDS. So these diseases are transmitted through the sexual contact. So simply we are touching or giving handshake, giving shake in the hand, and then touching. It's not this disease not spread. Okay. On the other hand, the sexual contact only, the virus causing AIDS can also spread through the blood to blood contact with the infected people, or from the infected mother to her baby during pregnancy, or through the breastfeeding. Okay. So this HIV, and then it is spread through the sexual contact. Otherwise, suppose the person is suppose the mother is affected by the HIV, so automatically their children also affected by the HIV. Then after birth, the mother is going to feeding, so that time also that small baby also affected by the HIV virus. Otherwise, there is a creatures, animals. Some animals they have to help to spread the disease. So how these animals carry the infectious agent from sick person to another potential host. These animals thus intermediate and are called vectors. So what are called vectors? The animals they help to intermediate from the infectious persons and to the healthy person, that is known as vector. For example, here by infected person, the handshaking and then direct contact only they have to affected by the HIV, and then that person is bited by a dog, we have the rabies. Through the food, it is through the water the disease can be spreaded, and through the animal excreta that also the disease can spread. And then another one is it is due to the direct contact, that is sexual contact. HIV and syphilis disease can spread. So most common vectors we know that, yes, mosquito. In mosquito specialies, female mosquitoes only have the highest dangerous. So these female only they have able to lay mature eggs. So mosquito feed on many warm blooded animals including us. So in this way they can transfer disease from person to person. And then these organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. That means the disease caused by the virus, they have to affect the particular part of the human body. Okay, it's not affected all the body. These microbes, they have to affect the particular parts of particular organ of our human body. Okay. So our body is very large when compared to the microbes. So there are many possible places, organs or tissue where they able to go. So do all the microbes go to the same tissue or organ, and do they go different ones? So no, all the microbes does not go to the all the places. It affected the particular place. For example, the infection like HIV that comes into body while sexual organs will spread to the lymph nodes all over the body. Okay, it affects the lymph nodes of the all the body. And malaria causing microbes enter through the mosquito bite will go to the liver and then to the red blood cells. First it affect the liver and go to the blood, and then it is going to destroy the blood vessels. Another one, that virus causing Japanese encephalitis or brain fever. Virus causing brain fever will similarly enter through the mosquito bite, but it goes on to infect the brain. Okay, so brain fever, it affects only the brain, and then malaria, it affects the liver. Okay, and then HIV, it affects the lymph node of the all over the body. So that is a target of this virus to go and affect some part of the bodies. Then after we are affected by the disease, then we have to make the signs and symptoms of a disease, and thus depend on tissue or organ which they microbe target. Suppose your lungs are target, the symptoms will be cough and breathlessness. Suppose your liver is target, means you may affected by jaundice. Suppose the target is microscope target is brain, we will observe headache, vomiting, fits or unconsciousness. So you have to imagine the symptoms and signs of an infection will be if we know what the target disease or organ is and the function that carried out by this tissue or organ. So all the microbes, it not affected all the parts of the body, it have to affect the some particular, that is a target body, target objects or target organs in our body. And then we have to take this antibiotic against this disease. That is very specific. We have to face some problems because our body immune system is activate irresponsible to infections. So an active immune system recruits many cells to the affected tissue to kill the tissues causing microbes. So the recombinant process is called inflammation. As a part of this process, there are local effects such as swelling and pain, and general effects such as fever. Suppose the tissue specified the infectants leads to the general seeing effects. For example, HIV infection, the virus goes to the immune system and damage its function. Yes, this virus go to the immune system. The immune system is caused by the WBC. Okay, so it first HIV virus it first affect the WBC, then it reduce the immune systems. So this effects of HIV or AIDS may cause the body can no longer fight off all the minor infectious, so that we face every day. Instead, every small cold can become pneumonia. Similarly, a minor cut infection can produce major diarrhea with blood loss. Sometimes these infections that kill the people suffering from HIV and AIDS. Mode of transmission disease. It is spread from one person to another person are called, that also called communicable disease. Sometimes this disease also spread when the excreta of an infected person somehow gets mixed with drinking water, usually by the other people's to drink. The cholera, typhoid, they have to spread through affected person to healthy persons. And some diseases like skin infections, ringworm, conjunctivitis are spread by direct contact with infected person through handshakes, touch or kiss. It can also, communicable disease can also spread through sexual intercourse between an infected person and a healthy persons. So what is the full form? HIV and AIDS, acute immunodeficiency syndrome, that is a abbreviation of AIDS, and syphilis or sexually transmitted disease. Then we have talked about vectors already. Once again I recall, many diseases are carried from an infected person to a healthy person through animals. Such animals are called vectors. Mostly commonly vector is mosquito and then houseflies. And especially mosquito, we have the female Anopheles mosquito is responsible for malaria, and then Aedes mosquito is spread the dengue fever. Next one is houseflies. It sits on garbage, trains and human and animal excreta, and then flies off and sits on uncovered food consumed by healthy person. So this way the houseflies transmit the disease to new healthy host. So virus has the difficult biochemical life process. So we are not able to kill the virus immediately. So antibiotics does not cure the virus disease and then infections, but still there are many antiviral drugs available in the market. So already our body has have immune cells. So whenever that is a disease causing virus, they have to enter our body. This WBC go and fight with the new virus. Okay, and then new microscope, then it can able to kill them. So the person have more immune power only. They have to the new disease enter our body is going to kill them. So otherwise our body is not healthy, means we are affected by such disease. So most important to remember that severity disease of manifestations depend upon the number of microbes in the body. If the number of microscope is very small, the disease manifestations may be minor or unnoticed. But if the number of the same microbes in large amount, the disease can be severe enough to life threatening. So immune system is major factor that determines the number of microbes serving in the body. So we shall look into its aspect a little later in the chapter. Homework.